Hey, everybody, welcome to the very first Venture podcast. We actually have been wanting to do this for quite a while, and it's going to be just an awesome thing that we're going to do intermittently. We're going to have different guests on, different staff. You're going to hear from Tim a bunch as well. But today we actually have Kyle Ranson from Crossroads in Cincinnati. He is a good friend. Kyle and I think we've known each other for like at least 2 years at this.
Yeah, I think maybe longer.
I think so. I think it's been longer. And Kyle's been so instrumental and helpful in just serving, consulting with us. And you guys, man, I'm excited that you guys got to hear him speak this weekend. And I just honestly, Kyle has been instrumental in our breakthrough campaign in helping us just figure out better ways to do things around here. I know Crossroads is gigantic, amazing. I know you guys just do such awesome things there too. But honestly, I haven't gotten to see you in a while because you haven't been back to the Bay in a bit, right?
Yeah, I think I was here in December, maybe.
Yeah, so it's been 6 months.
It's been a while. I will say, in your airport, the Mi Casa Mexican restaurant was under construction in December, and it still is. And I'm a little disappointed,
dude,
about that.
You know what else was forever in there is the Pete's. So like we have there's like one in our airport, and it was like under construction for like a year, and it's like my one thing I want to get the first thing I get to the airport.
Yeah,
and I was like, I don't know what you guys are doing here.
We need somebody from the airport to solve those problems.
Yes.
I think that's the main point of this podcast so far.
That's the pure point. Hey, we need our coffee and our Mexican food at the restaurant. Yeah. Is there the Chick-fil-A in the part where you guys fly into, or is it not?
No.
Okay.
Chick-fil-A.
So if you ever fly in using the Southwest terminals over there, there's like a Chick-fil-A in there. Also, you other really good stuff down there.
Okay.
We used to have one of those robot coffee makers. Have you ever gotten coffee from one of those?
No.
Dude, it's wild. Like you basically go up and order, and there's a robot that fully steams the milk, holds it, picks the cup up, like pulls shots of coffee, like uses a regular like espresso machine. And it's a great
Yeah, we don't have that in Ohio.
Oh.
We're a little behind.
Oh, just a little behind.
Yeah. We'll get that maybe, I don't know, 2035 probably.
Oh, yeah, at least 10
We'll get the
more years.
robot makes coffee, yeah.
Yeah, it was a trip, and I didn't think it was real. And if you wave at it, it sees you. It'll wave back at you, all this wild stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so if you end up flying out of there, dude, you got to go find one of those things. It's a fun little, especially for your kids, because watching like a robot make you a cup of coffee,
it's awesome.
And it's a decent cup of coffee. It's not going to be as good as our coffee at the coffee shop. Low key.
That looks amazing.
But yeah.
I peeked my head in there when I got here.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. We're very
It's
excited.
incredible.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. It should be opening in like the next week or two. So
yeah, that's what I heard.
yeah, I just can't wait, man. Well, what's been up in life? Like, how's everything going back in Ohio? All that?
It's been going great. I mean, on the personal side, we're at the stages of family where it feels like all we do is drive our kids places.
Yep.
So they're
same place, dude.
11, 13, and 15, and they all do all the stuff. And so we just drive and drive and drive. And sometimes Sarah and I feel like ships passing in the night, and we're like, why are we doing this? But it's also really sweet. It's awesome to have my kids turning into people, and just to see them grow and develop and have their own thoughts and their own faith and their own, all that stuff it's been super cool.
Yeah, dude, that's wild. Brittany and I are in the same season of life. Our oldest daughter just turned 13.
Yeah.
I just had her birthday party on Saturday, and it was kind of wild because we had like 13-year-old girls all in my pool in my backyard, and I made a bunch of pizza, and it was just like,
That's awesome.
And it was weird because it's the first party where they like didn't want to hang out or talk to us.
Yeah.
Like I just made pizzas and put them out
there.
Yeah, and they were just like clearly doing their own thing. Like I was like, okay, cool. I'm getting to that time now.
Yeah.
That's always a bummer when that starts happening a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was fun. Just getting to hang, make pizzas, and serve them and all that stuff. It was cool. So we had a good time. I know. So Kyle, you're super into woodworking and stuff too. Have you made anything cool recently?
So I built a table.
Did you?
We did
Like dining room table, outdoor table. What kind of table?
dining room table.
Ooh.
I love to build stuff. Like I also built a stone wall. That's been my project the last month or two.
That's cool.
I was like building a little stone wall, retaining wall around our house, because
Yep.
our house is beautiful on the inside. We've been renovating it for 7 years.
Yeah.
And it's horribly disgustingly ugly on the outside. I tell people it's like a geode. Like the rock, like it's like a potato, and you crack it open and the inside it looks glorious.
Oh, yeah,
That's kind of
exactly.
how our house feels to us. So we go on the outside. But yeah, I made a dining room table out of slabs of a sycamore tree.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah. which the sycamores, you guys have them around here. They grow near water, the
Yep.
big ones with the kind of the whitish bark and whatever,
Yep.
which most of the time that wood gets discarded because you can't really make lumber out of it because the
Yeah.
grain's all like,
It's
it's
yeah, it's
crazy
very
grainy,
curled. Yeah, exactly.
but I love it. It took a very long time, but
Did it? How long did it take you to do that?
ooh, 6 weeks.
Oh, man, yeah.
I had a week off between Christmas and New Year's,
Yeah, exactly.
and I spent like 4 straight days where I'd wake up in the morning, go to my workshop, work until night, and at the end of day 4, my wife, Sarah, was like, "Hey, we haven't, like, seen you, so I know this is restorative for you, but, like, maybe you could, like, come inside the house every once in a while." I was like, "Oh my gosh. Right, okay."
Yeah,
So, slowed
totally,
it down a
dude.
little bit, took some time, but
I understand. I
yeah.
do like, I have an old Jeep that I work on, that I told you,
Yeah.
and, like, I do the same thing, like, yesterday I was working on I've been doing, like, my water pump in it because it's just overheated all crazy. But so, like, this my wife feels the exact same way, and my solution a lot of times is, like, I'll set up just, like, a camper chair, dude, like, right
Yeah.
next to where I'm working. I'll be like, "Alright, come and hang out with me."
Yep.
And then my son came in and chilled and played on iPad and hung out with me, and then she came in and hung out, and that's been, like, my solution a little bit of, like, you don't
Totally.
have to, like, work on it, just chill and hang out with me while we're doing
Yes.
it, you know?
I think I think every dad, mom of young kids, and by young, I don't mean, diapers necessarily, but
Yeah,
from diapers through, like, just living in your house, you need a hobby to stay sane. You need something
honestly.
that's like, it's your thing to go out. Like, I know this weekend I talked about connecting with God and reading scripture and prayer every day and all those sorts of things, and that is the foundation of life. You can't skip that.
For
But
sure.
you think about building on top of it, time doing something that restores you, a hobby, like,
Yep.
it's so essential. I think as your kids get older, then absolutely you can invite them into it. They're curious, they're interested, they learn a skill with you.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
It kinda reminds me of, like, a story actually when I was working at Saddleback before, I got to go, like, do gardening with Rick Warren out in his backyard a couple times.
Oh, cool.
It's wild, dude, like, just hanging out with that dude. And one of the things he had taught us, like, when we were out there was those who, like, work with their minds all day, intense meetings, that kind of thing,
Yeah.
the way that their brain rests is by working on, like, tactile things, like woodworking,
Amen.
mechanical
Yeah.
things, all that stuff, because it basically just works one way and you just get to do it and it, like, unrests your brain. So,
Yep.
like, for years, I was, like, a maintenance guy. I was going to school, like, college, and I was fixing things all day
Yeah.
and my brain was exhausted and I was physically exhausted. And then at night, though, I'd go work on like my theology papers and I could work till 12 o'clock, no problem. Cause I like had all this brain
So it's like
power
the
that
reverse.
exactly. So it's kind
Interesting.
of the opposite for other people.
Yeah.
So if you have a job that's very like you're working with your hands all day,
Yeah.
it's actually really killer for you to go like work with your mind and be more thinking and all that kind of stuff.
Interesting.
Relax you a bit more too, because you're just doing totally different parts of your brain. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of more of the creative part of things and
Yeah.
more of like the like, okay, this is just how this goes, and that's
Yeah.
why for you feel that way too. I always feel that way. Like
Totally.
after I've like this week, I just feel so much more like, oh yeah, it's been a good week of working on stuff.
Yeah.
But you know, that's why I like cooking and stuff too, because it's kind of the same type of thing when I go. Like I'm like
Yeah.
cook and like make stuff for
I
my
wish I had
family.
more time to learn cooking.
You
I
could
would
do
love
it,
to
dude.
be
Start with
to
some
it.
mac and cheese, bro. Come on.
I make the pancakes. Every morning, me and my daughter, Gracie, make pancakes for everybody else, and we have for she's 11.
That's awesome.
I think since she's probably 2 or 3 maybe when she
Yeah.
started helping me.
That's awesome.
So we make good pancakes. That's all I know how to do, though.
Yeah.
From scratch, by the way.
Yes, totally. It
Not
has to
not
be
from a
from
box.
scratch. No, no,
So,
no.
yeah.
I have the same thing. I do it. My son's just started fully helping me because he loves it, but I make waffles like every Saturday.
Ooh, yeah.
We listen to the Beatles and we make waffles from scratch, buttermilk waffles. Because like in LA growing up, there was this funny station and it was, I don't even remember what it was, like an oldie station, whatever, but they every Sunday morning had breakfast with the Beatles. So from 6 a.m. till 12, they would play only Beatles songs.
Wow.
And they do like deep cuts and stuff. So it was like,
Should I try listening to the Beatles when I make pancakes? Will I
I
make
mean,
them
my kids
tasty?
now are going to forever know when we are making pancakes or waffles, I'm listening to
They're gonna hear the Beatles and just get hungry.
yes, totally.
So I need some food.
Dad's waffles, right?
Real
That sounds so good. Dude, yeah, so that's like our little tradition that I do that I think is super funny. But
That's awesome.
I just was like, yeah, I love doing that and hanging out. And my son's getting to the point now because we weigh everything and all that. He's
Yeah.
starting to the point to remember the measurements. And
Yeah, well,
I'm getting to the point where I can be like, all right, buddy, do that. And he'll go get all the stuff, measure it out with the scale. He knows how to like tear the scale and all that stuff.
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Wow.
So, yeah. And do you have any? So I hear you're going on a awesome, exciting trip tomorrow.
I am taking
Where-
a vacation.
Yeah, I bet you need one for sure.
Yeah, I if I think about my life and the things that like, I got some things nailed pretty good. But I got some things that I could do better at. I think rest and slowing down is one of them. I just don't slow down very well.
Yeah.
Like when I have time off, I'm always, it's not non-restorative, but I fill it with projects,
Yeah.
right? I'm like, okay, I got a week off. I'm gonna stay home. I'm gonna build a whole table, like stuff like
Yeah,
that, right?
totally, dude. Yep.
So yeah, being out here, we're heading out to Hawaii for a bit with my family, which is
Man.
unbelievable, and can't wait to do. Feel super blessed to be able to go out there and
Yeah, that's so awesome, man.
unwind for a little bit. And like from here, it's not that far.
No, it's only like 4 or 5 hours. It's like 5
Yeah.
hours on the plane. Plus, when you land, like, you're gonna leave at 2, but you're gonna get there at, like, 3 or 4.
Yeah,
You're gonna have still the rest of the evening to
it's
live and all that stuff,
unbelievable
which
to
is
me.
great.
My poor wife has to wake up in Ohio at like 4 or 3:30 or
Ooh,
something and take
man.
all the kids to the airport. So pray for her.
Yeah, I'll be praying for her for
Yeah.
sure.
Uh-huh.
And she's traveling without you with the kids.
Yeah, I know all the
Oh,
things.
man,
Yeah,
no.
I know.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely pray for her.
Yeah.
She needs it, so, yeah. That's awesome, dude. Well, I'm glad you're getting to go on, like, a rest and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a big reason we wanted you to come out was because we're launching our app, this
Yep.
coming week. And, for those of you guys who are listening too, like, Kyle was such a huge instrumental part of helping us build our app. Our other buddy over here, Matt, also was hugely helpful, and, we learned so much from you guys. Like,
Yep.
we learned, and so tell us how long you guys, like, Crossroads has had their app for.
When did we start, Matt? 2014? That was like a standalone for a 6-week experience that we did. And everyone loved it. We call them all church journeys. We do them once a year. And it's basically like everybody, kids, students, adults, we all focus on the same topic for 6 weeks.
Yep.
We have a guide that everybody gets that brings us together. We do small groups. Similar to what you guys did with the Breakthrough campaign and with
Yeah.
Breakthrough Life, right?
Yep.
Kind of similar formats. And so we made the app as kinda instead of a paper guide, let's do a digital one, and it really sparked to people. And then, yeah, after it, Matt was just saying, there's sort of been these epiphany moments along the way, right? Where
Yep.
you were like, we had moments where we're like, "Wait, why right now, church is like it shuts down. Like, there's
Mhm.
hours where it closes."
Yeah.
Which of course, it's physical location, and
Yep.
so you can't be here all the time, and people don't wanna drive that far and all this stuff, but that's not the way the world works. Like,
Mhm.
the world offers to serve people 24/7, and we had moments where we're like, what if the church aimed to do that?
Mm.
Like, Amazon doesn't have hours. It's not like, "Oh, sorry, check back at 9 AM, we open back
Totally.
up," or whatever.
Yep.
It's just it's always there to meet you and serve you, and I think if you take it out of the commerce world, which obviously Amazon exists to make money for the people on the platform, and that's great, nothing wrong with that. But if you go past that part of it, you go, they're serving people. Somebody has a real felt need. It
Mhm.
might be, I need a new toaster. Great. And Amazon's like, we want to help you with that in the moment that you need it
Yeah.
and make it as easy and seamless as possible to deliver the value you need as fast as we can.
Yeah.
And we were just challenged going like, well, why doesn't the church think that way?
Yeah.
Like, what if we tried to deliver the value somebody's looking for immediately? Is it possible to serve people that well? And that kind of became some of the motivation for us to head out. And then we look at other stuff on the social media front. It's
Mhm.
really interesting. And so we started to talk about the word asynchronous all the time, which basically just means you can be connected together, but the the social connection doesn't have to happen. It doesn't happen like a small group meets up, at my house. Hey, we're going to start at 7 on Thursday, and we're going to go until 9 or 10 or whatever when everyone gets tired and goes home.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
But if you miss it, you miss it. If you're not there at 7, between 7 and 9, like you missed the experience. But
Mhm.
what social kind of paved the way for was this asynchronous relationships and connections where
Yeah.
you can contribute at 9 AM. I can see it at 10. I can respond back. I can comment. Text messages, by the way, same exact thing, right? Like that's how we
Totally.
how we interact with people is asynchronous. Matt and I have been in the same small group with our wives and all of our kids for like forever. My kids call Matt Uncle Matt.
Yeah.
And we get together every Sunday, but we talk way more. than
Mhm.
that. We've got a group chat that's the adults, and we have another chat that's now got some of the kids in it,
Oh, that's fun,
talking all the
man.
time.
That's cool.
And it's part of all, like, you have the same thing, right? Like, you got group chats with your family and
Yep.
your friends and whatever. And again, we went like, "Well, why can't church work that way?
Yeah.
Why can't church use some of the same platforms that," my personal opinion, like, I look at technology and there are people who look at it, I'm like, "It's bad." Like, it's neutral. It depends on what you use it for.
Yeah, exactly.
And what if the church grabbed it, and what if the church used it to connect people together, to each other, the church, and God
Dude, yeah.
more?
That's
And
awesome.
that's what we've been running at for about a decade now.
I know, and that's what's so wild too, is, like, when you had initially started even talking to us about some of this stuff a couple of years ago, I think we were just, like, so blown away of, like, we live and we're planted here in Silicon Valley,
Yeah.
which, by the way, is where Instagram is 20 minutes,
Yeah.
Netflix is 5 minutes away, Apple headquarters is 10 minutes away. And then we felt like, man, why are we not trying to tackle some of this space
Yeah.
where we live? Like, of any of the churches that should be out trying to make some of this stuff happen,
Yeah.
we are like strategically centered in the middle of all of it. And how can we
Yeah.
play our role, I think, here in Silicon Valley and being able to do that? And it's been so cool. I think, and a big reason too that I think you guys have been so beneficial in it is coming with the 11 years of experience. And when it was funny because I remember when the very first time we had talked, you guys were like, here's the thing, we did this for 11 years. We made so many mistakes. We're just going to tell you all those things that we did right out the gate.
Don't do any of these things.
Yeah, exactly. We're just going to like
do this.
speed you up 11 years
Yeah.
so that you guys can start from a better point than where we started.
Yeah.
And I think that was just like probably one of the biggest impactful things for us. I know that we really felt so thankful for you guys coming in and partnering with us and just
Yeah.
giving us good advice. And so, yeah, I would love to just be able to thank you and Matt just to be able to help us with that stuff because I know it's just been so impactful for us
It's
and
been super
helpful.
fun.
I know. What are some of the like, and so I got to download the Crossroads app a couple years ago and have been on it. And tell
Yeah.
me, like, the prayer feature is one of my favorite
It's
things.
amazing.
Give me some like stories and examples of stuff of like how you've seen God work in some of that. And I think the asynchronous thing is like, to us, that was
Yeah.
one of the most attractive things is the asynchronousness of having an app that you could ask for prayer and you'll immediately see people praying for you.
Yeah.
You'll immediately see someone like, you know what I mean, engaging with
Yep.
what you're going through. Do you have any cool stories that you think of that are just like, man, those were so impactful?
So, yes.
Probably like a
So many.
lot. I know.
So many. I'll just stay personal for me, my family, my circles of friends. I like I talked about this weekend. Daily time with God is the foundation of my life. It's the foundation of every person I've ever seen have an impactful life of faith. But it was something that I did alone for 20 years.
Mm,
And I'll say as a pastor, it was the thing that was always the most frustrating. For the first time I started to mentor and disciple people, and I was still in college and would try to get the dudes in my fraternity. I was in a frat. It was awesome.
That's awesome. You're a frat guy. I didn't know that.
And yeah, it was great. I would do it again. Totally. I would totally do it again. But I tried to get my fraternity brothers to like who were interested in faith, like, hey, this is read the Bible with me.
Mm,
Let's keep each other accountable. Let's, whatever. And it's just it never worked. And as a pastor, it's the same thing. It's like you can get people to do lots of stuff, but hey, you should wake up early and read your Bible. Everyone's like, I am busy. Like I can't
I
do that.
am snoozing.
And again, you like you can sort of stop at that moment and go, okay, well, tough luck. I guess you're just not gonna have it. Or you can ask better questions and go, well, how may I serve you better? How may I make this better for you?
Yeah. How do you clear the roadblocks that
Yeah.
prevent them from taking some of those steps?
So I personally use our app almost every single day. I don't always publish a journal when I read the scripture,
Mm,
but oftentimes we'll publish a journal and I will read what other people wrote. So I'll look at friends who read the same chapter. I'll look at some of my coworkers, other pastors, and what they said.
yeah.
And it's just, as somebody who's read the Bible a lot for a very long time, it is humbling and amazing in the best way to read the reflections of other people on the same passage of scripture and just go like, holy cow, I never thought of that. Or, oh my gosh, I would have never connected those dots. Or,
Yeah.
so I feel like even as a, as a quote unquote professional Christian, I'm learning so much more because we're studying scripture together. Um, stories,
Yeah.
we hear all the time from people. They'll download the app, they'll put in a prayer request, and within minutes, they'll get a notification that somebody prayed for them.
Yeah.
And the moment of that is incalculable
Yeah.
to
That's
how
huge.
profound it is to somebody's faith.
Yeah.
Because most people, most of the time, operate feeling alone. Even people with great connections and great friends and who like the place that they work, there's still this like block. And the things that matter most to me are often I carry inside because it's awkward to bring it up in a meeting or at lunch or whenever. And so I just kind of walk alone. And when you put in a prayer request for something that really matters and you see that somebody took the time out of their day to pray for you, it's just like, wow. I remember, so last summer, my dad had a stroke
I remember that.
and it came out of the blue. He's super healthy guy. He's actually exercising. This is a tangent, but I just have to tell this part of the story.
No, it's great.
My dad, he was 70 years old when he had a stroke. He was in his upstairs attic bench pressing 250 pounds,
No way.
which is like afterwards, and that's when he had a stroke. We're like, Dad, maybe like,
Maybe tone down a little
yeah,
bit.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
unair conditioned attic. He lived in Georgia. It was like 100 degrees up there. And
No
he's like,
way.
like, okay, that's probably didn't help you, you know?
Dang.
Um, but when that happened, you're almost like in shock. Like I got a phone call from my sister.
Yeah.
Dad had a stroke. Ambulance is on its way. Mom's with them. She found him at the bottom of the stairs.
Oh man.
And you just feel helpless and you feel like,
Yep.
I don't know. I don't, is he gonna, like, what's gonna happen next? And am I gonna see him again? And all this stuff. And, um, I didn't know what to do. I knew I needed to fly down there. So I did two things. I called my brother who was in Cincinnati with me. We had a plan to get to the airport, um, and fly down together. And then I put a prayer request in the app
Yeah.
and just said, my dad just had a stroke and please pray. And the flood of responses
I bet. Wow.
in that moment were crazy.
That's awesome.
And, you know, I would say miracles are called miracles because they don't happen all that often. I wish they happened more. You know, I've had
Yeah.
plenty of things I've asked God for that didn't happen. But in this case, what I saw with my dad and his recovery was incredible. And I would 100% attribute to, I had a community of people who instantaneously rallied to pray for my dad.
Wow.
And just I saw him just this past weekend. He's great. He can move around. He's as fully recovered as you could ever hope for. And
Wow. That's awesome.
went golfing with my brother. So like, I look at that as a moment in my life where I go, in a weird way, an app is part of the story that I would say is why my dad is here and healthy and
Yeah.
moving around because people rallied.
That's
And it's not, obviously I'm the pastor at Crossroads, and so more people probably follow me in the app, but those stories are all over.
Yeah.
You don't have to be somebody with 1,000 connections to get prayed for. You know, we have one of the things that I think is incredible. We have a team of people who do their volunteer role at Crossroads that they sign up for is just to pray for people on the app.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And so there's folks who they just view that as their ministry, and they're just like, yeah, whenever a prayer request comes in, I'm gonna get that thing, I'm gonna see it, I'm gonna pray for it, and let that person know.
I love it. That's awesome.
So that just, it's an incredible cycle of faith that gets built.
Dude, and that's like exactly like what we're hoping for. We're hoping to see people being able to put their prayer requests on there and that they would just be flooded in prayer and love and connection and all that stuff as well. Question on my mind is, can your dad still bench 250 pounds after all that?
No, because once he was out of the hospital and recovering, my sister, brother, and we got on the phone. And we're like, okay, we need to get rid of Dad's weights.
First thing you did is like
Yeah.
remove
Like
from
we
the
need. So my
pocket and
brother flew down and disassembled all his machines and
everything.
got rid of. He's still though. They live in Charlottesville, Virginia now,
Okay.
and he joined a gym there and goes 4 times a week. So
That's great.
who knows? I
No,
don't know.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool, man. So a couple of years ago, you kind of told me a story because I know like the Bible reading plan and just the journaling aspect of like the Crossroads app that I've gotten experience. It's been so good.
Yep.
And I've loved it. I always love to read what you write because you're very easy to read and it always makes sense. But you were kind of like, we were talking about, you're like, because I know your app kind of prioritizes like people depending
Yep.
on all that stuff. And their interactions. But you were always like you mentioned, you're like, oh, but there's this one guy, and he's not even on staff, and he just writes these incredible journal entries.
Yeah.
And I remember just being like, oh, that's wild. That like that's one of your main people you always go read
Yeah.
because he's like he's got so much wisdom and stuff. Tell me about that story of that guy.
Well, I mean, there's many in our community who I
Yeah,
say
sure.
there's a woman actually for a long time who would publish her journals. So our scripture flips over at 12:01 a.m. It's the next day.
Yep.
And she would be in there at 12:01 and she would read the scripture and she would publish her journal first.
Nice.
And so therefore she'd be oftentimes highly sorted.
Yep.
The app, super simply, it looks at how many people liked this, made a comment about it, and it assumes that means it's a better quality journal, which is a little bit strange, I know, to think about because it's not like someone's thoughts are better than others, but maybe it's better written or it's just more insightful or it included some research or whatever.
Yeah, or just connected with people's hearts.
Right.
Sometimes
There's a
that's
cool
something
story in it,
like
that kind of stuff. And so, we want to go like, hey, if this is really meaningful, let's show it to people earlier in their scroll rather than later. And yeah, for her, in particular, just talk about her. She, for years, was at the top of everybody's journals, wrote great things. I'd read her many other people,
wow,
and I'd never met her.
that's wild.
Yeah, but super insightful, and that's the it's really interesting because it's in a way it's new, right? Like with your app is amazing. I got to be in some of the beta testing of
Yeah,
it
yeah,
and test flight and all that kind of stuff. And when it launches, you will have your community. I don't know if you guys understand, like you will have one of the best, counted on one hand,
Mm,
church apps in the world. Because most of them are still in a place of just it's almost like a website in an app.
exactly.
Here's service times. Here's a sermon if you missed it.
Yep,
Sign up to serve by clicking this button, whatever.
exactly. Yeah.
And that's not what yours does. Yours is a connection tool.
No, because so our original app is essentially that. It does
Yeah.
just point you toward things on the website, and it's just pulling data from the website. And that was obviously you guys have been a part of, but our goal was to start that, like build the app from the ground up
Yep.
so that we were not like limited to what we're doing. And that's why using some of the data from you guys and what was so impactful to where, again, we adopted a bunch of the ideas from yours and like the gratitude
Yeah.
journal and stuff like that.
Gratitude's
That's going to
huge.
be because we really wanted to like, and that was something I remember too of just you guys just being like, man, just someone stopping in their day and just recognizing and being thankful to God for what God was doing in their life that certain
Yep.
day, or and whatever prompts or whatever.
Yep.
I remember that just being so awesome, and I know you guys always say our app is way better than yours, which I'm kind of excited that you guys always say that because
And
again,
features that we haven't gotten to yet.
yeah,
I
and
mean,
that's
you really
we even have features that are being built out right now that
Yeah.
aren't even going to launch with it that are
Uh-huh.
coming that are going to be unbelievably powerful and amazing for the connection and the ministry of Venture 2.
Yep.
But I know you guys are super jealous of that stuff, so
Yeah, we
I
would like that.
apologize. So
We would love to have it. No, it's awesome. I think for for in anything, the more people who are innovating, the faster the whole thing moves.
Yep.
And so for Matt and I think part of why we love working with you guys is because you do have a desire
Mm.
to connect people, and you have such a strong desire that you're willing to be courageous and try something new and dive into it. And that's what you're doing. And for us, it's an amazing thing to go like, awesome, this is gonna push the whole kingdom forward everywhere
Yeah.
because you're gonna discover stuff that we didn't.
Mm.
And because it's kingdom, it's not a company,
Yep.
we get to share it with each other and be like, "Hey, dude, you should try this. Hey, think about this thing. Hey, definitely never do this because it's
Yeah.
like
Well, that's the thing that we're excited about too. It's like we get to be a little bit like how you guys have been for us of being like, we've
yeah,
tried a bunch of these really great ideas and being able to also take this and pour this into other church communities. That is like our actual Dean and Tim and I have talked a lot about that of being one of our end goals of making sure that this is going to be able to bring life and light to other churches and be
it
able to
totally
help
will.
them create community better in their
Yeah.
church and things like that.
Well, I think it's going to be a tool too that helps you all do your vision of breaking through to the people in the 5-mile radius around you, which is
Right.
an incredibly compelling vision. I mean, it's part of what keeps Matt and I coming out here and connected to you guys is just the what if factor of
Yep.
like, man, what if God really did break through
Mm-hmm.
in Silicon Valley to the people who control the platforms that send truth to people every day?
Yep.
What if that happened? And I think your app helps because again, if you just think about like the typical path you want for somebody, well, you develop a relationship, and then
Mm-hmm.
I like when I
Yeah.
invite you to church. That's a big leap.
Yeah.
But I think about your app and I'm like, what if somebody who needs prayer is searching on the internet for some help? Maybe not even searching for prayer. They're just searching for help for whatever.
Mm,
And your app pops up and it's like, download this app and we'd love
yeah.
to pray for you for free.
Yeah.
And like it's people be like, wait, what? You would do that for me? And they'll click it. Or people who drive by your building or people who come to your festivals that are so cool.
Yeah.
They'll leave.
Mm,
Somebody could go to Winter Wonderland and be like, man, this was really great. And maybe on the way out they see a sign that's like, hey, we got a free app that helps you have lower your anxiety, experience more peace,
mhm.
and connects you more to your purpose.
Yep.
It's free, download it and try it. And people are like, okay.
Yeah.
And inside it, it's prayer, gratitude, and scripture, which is
Yeah.
going to do all those things, which we've done the testing on ours and 100%. That's what it delivers.
Yep.
And that's what people are after. And
That's
in the
awesome.
process, they'll be doing what I mentioned the verse, Psalm 34, right?
Mm.
Taste and see that the Lord is good.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think we have a culture who wants to taste and then see. They don't want to see and then taste. They're not the
Yeah.
group that's like, hey, convince me mentally and then I'll try it.
Yep.
Which is actually an advantage, I think. It's like, hey, I'll try it and then I'll see whether it works or not.
Yeah,
It's like, awesome. Try it. Try
Yep.
try prayer for 21 days and see if it changes your life. It
Totally.
will.
Yep. That's like I'm so excited about like the launch of this to see these things,
Yeah.
because like I've lived in it for so long now that I'm just so excited to see it be able to like impact our community and
Yeah.
be able to just serve and hear stories like this. Like I
Yeah.
can't wait to be telling you these stories 6 months from now.
Gonna be awesome.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Well, hey, as we're kind of wrapping up, like I know you just got done teaching and your kind of whole talk on you are what you eat,
Yep.
kind of a thing. What is like your one big takeaway that you wanted to have us leave us with on kind of, I mean,
Yeah.
fairly obvious. I know you unpacked a ton today,
Yeah.
but like what is some of your things that you're like, oh man, I want to make sure you guys got this in my message.
Well, my hope with you are what you eat is that burns into your skull
Yeah.
and burrows down into your heart
Yep.
and bothers you.
Mm,
That's what I hope. You won't accidentally become a world-changing Christian. You just won't, but the world needs changed. You won't
yep.
accidentally become a 5-mile radius breakthrough Christian.
Mm,
That's never happened. I wish it were true,
yeah.
but it's never it's never been the case.
Mm,
You will though if you put in the daily habits. It's the thing of like I've heard people say that you underestimate you overestimate what you can accomplish in a day, and you underestimate what you can accomplish in a year.
yeah, for sure.
And I think growing in faith and becoming a person of impact is like that, where it's like, okay, I'm gonna go share my faith with everybody around me today. Like, well, you limited impact. But if you will over time invest in the daily habit,
Totally.
you'll be the person of courage, the peace, of stability, of joy. Like it will fundamentally
Mm,
change you. But the reality is most Christians don't do that. Most Christians treat God like a once a week thing.
yeah.
And I just go like, man, if I decided to work out once a week, I probably shouldn't expect to change.
Mm,
But if I did it every day, sky's the limit.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's what I think about. And that's what I'm so excited for you guys to go like, man, just dive in. I know you got that encouragement. I know you're going to get that encouragement in the next couple of weeks, but that'd be my plea is like, even if you're skeptical,
Yeah.
even if you're like, this is the dumbest idea. Why do we build this app? Just
I hope that sounds
give it 21 days.
Yep.
Try it for 21 days in a row every day.
Yep.
And just see if after 21 days, if that was worth your time or not.
Dude.
Because I promise it will be.
Yeah. Amen. It brings me back to just the old adage, like greatness isn't learned in a day. Greatness is learned daily.
Yeah.
That's like
There you
at
go.
the end of the day,
That's it.
daily, that's how you learn to be great.
Yeah.
Just you can't cram in one day kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So, well, dude, honestly, thank you so much for coming out this weekend. We appreciate you so much. We love you so much.
Yes, man.
And
Love you guys too.
dude, we hope you have an awesome vacation in Hawaii.
Thanks.
Please try to go swim with some turtles for me.
Absolutely.
Last time I was in Hawaii, I tried to go swim with a turtle and I literally chased it down and couldn't even get me. They're so fast, dude. The turtles are fast. They're way faster than you think there. So if you just, make sure you have some fins on or something. But love you, Kyle. Thanks so much for being here, man.
Nice.
And, can't wait to have you back, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, Venture, thanks for joining us. We are just so blessed to have you with us. Again, we're so excited about the launch of our new app. Also, stay tuned. Our coffee shop will be opening in the next couple of weeks as well. And we're so excited just about all the awesome things happening here at Venture. So we love you guys, and we're praying you guys have a blessed week.